Welcome to Serious About Rugby League. Today on the agenda we're going to discuss St Helens, the runaway leaders of Super League this year. But the question has to be, are they peaking too early again? Now this season Saints have only lost one game. The top of the league, 4 points clear of Warrington in second, 10 points clear already of third place and 12 points clear of fifth. Last season though they won 26 out of 30, Jason. And they finished, I think it was 15 points ahead of Warrington in fourth, but that big semi-final they lost. They also lost the Challenge Cup semi-final to Catalans. They won the League Leaders' Shield, but they ended the season without a major trophy. What's to say the same isn't going to happen again?
They still won't be able to judge them until those big games. But I do generally believe this year that the squad is stronger. They have more options in every position, and they've been able to rotate more than any other side. So the competition for places, I do think it is better than last year. I still think there is threat though from the likes of Warrington on a one-off day. I do think they'll win the Shield. I don't think that's going to be stopped now. But yeah, it'd be how they can perform in the big games, and the first test will come against Huddersfield this week.
We talked about the main challenges there. You mentioned Warrington. Do you think are there any other teams that are particularly worrying you? Because it seems apart from St Helens and Warrington, everybody is beating each other, and it's almost why that 10-point gap's opened up to third already, not even halfway through the season.
I think from the rest of them, I think Cass are struggling this year. I don't think they're as good as they were and missing players. We've not really seen Hull the last 2 years. We're full side out, and before then they won the cup twice in a row, so I won't fancy, they may be tough later in the season to get bodies back, especially playing at Hull. The only one I really don't like would be Catalans again.
Yeah.
I think they don't always turn up every week, but on a big day they have a big pack, and especially in a semi-final or even in the playoffs, if they get there, they may be one that could come from third to actually challenge the top two.
Yeah. Now, I don't know what the feeling is in St Helens at the moment, because it's a good feeling. You're on good form. You're winning nearly every game. You're putting on a show nearly every game. But if you actually look at the hard facts, you've not won Super League since 2014. You haven't won the Challenge Cup since 2008, and you've won only one major trophy in the last 11 years. Now, is there a slight bit of doubt at the back of your mind that thinks, you know what, yes, we are the best team in the league, but we might not necessarily end up with the trophies?
Yeah, well, every year we met the playoffs. It's every year, and the Challenge Cup has been disappointing. You would probably said over every other season there was at least one team that I did feel probably could beat us. I did feel before the start of this season we had the best side this year, but yeah, it's big games. It'll all come down to can they perform in a semi-final, and I don't think Warrington will be far off St Helens in a big game.
No,
so
I'll just come to you, Ian. I believe you've got the master plan to beating St Helens, haven't you?
Well, I don't think it's a master plan. I don't think it's any secret. Obviously, going to refer to Catalan because they're the one team to beat St Helens so far this year, and what they did very well that day was frustrate St Helens. I would compare St Helens now to Castleford of 2017. They ran away with it, we all know, and they were. You know, I remember I was at the media suite at the KCOM Stadium after Hull had conceded 50 points back to back in home games against Salford and Leeds, and I spoke to Gary Schofield and I said our next home game is nice and easy. I said it's home against Castleford. Bloody need to learn to defend then, and then we went, and a couple of weeks later Castleford rolled into town and they were putting points on everybody. There was knocking teams for 40, 50, 60 points, and we played them we were down to 12 men for nearly an hour and beat them, and then we drew them in the Challenge Cup, and everybody thought, well, this could be when Hull lose their grip on the Challenge Cup that they'd won the previous year, and Hull that day on what was a red hot day. I mean, it was absolutely roasting hot in the stadium, and Hull produced a game plan which was go set for set with Castleford, be direct against them, and you can hurt them, and we knock them out of the Challenge Cup. I'm not saying that that's the way that you beat St Helens, but if St Helens don't have the ball, if a team respects possession, be it a Warrington or a Hull, be it a London, be it a Leeds, be it a Wakefield, anyone like that, if you respect possession against any team, you are capable of beating them. And as
If it was that simple,
as Jason says, on a day, on a one-off game, a one-off game is completely different to any other game. And frankly, if we got drawn against St Helens in the Challenge Cup, I would expect us to beat them, because in a one-off game, I think Lee Radford has this thing about the Challenge Cup. I think he was not meant to win it. For years and years, obviously, we'd had it rubbed into us that we'd never won at Wembley. Lee Radford went and won it at Wembley, and then he became the first Hull coach to defend it. And then last year, I think we would have beaten St Helens in the quarterfinals. I think we got 3 absolutely shocking yellow cards. One of them maybe was sort of deserved. The other 2, I think, were ridiculous. And when you look at that game, in the when the 2 teams had 13 on the field, that the score then was 22-10 to Hull. And there is that way. It seems to be that the Challenge Cup is Lee Radford's specialist chosen subject, and I think if we're going to win silverware this year, it'll be the Challenge Cup. As to beating St Helens in a one-off game, any team can beat them as long as they do. What St Helens do very well is they keep hold of the ball, and they will put points on teams. They showed that against Warrington, who are supposed to be their nearest challengers. They showed it against half our team on Easter Monday. They showed it against Catalan, with what was effectively would you say it was a bit of a fringe St Helens team that beat Catalan the other week?
Play the second team. Really.
Now we talk about that. That's what I want to get onto. So what is the difference from St Helens last year to this year? Because would Justin Holbrook have rested so many players last year in a Super League game?
I think there's been improvements. It's obviously helped this year. We lost Walmsley early last year, and he's been. I think if we got Thompson, Rugby and Walmsley playing, we have a very good chance of winning all 3 trophies. But the younger players are getting better. He's the 2 that he's brought in the last 2 years, Bentley and Batchelor, now options, who come into the side, are very good players. And the Matty Lees has got better, Ashworth has got better, Knowles has got better. So the pack is just, in every position we have 2 players we could play, which I think is helping. It's like we could drop one player out and I don't think anyone else would notice.
Do you not think that's a difference, Ian? Because St Helens have got such more strength and depth than the other teams, that they're able to rest players. And if you look at the rest of the league, they've probably, obviously Luke Thompson's just got injured, but they've probably got the least amount of injuries. So are they managing it better, and are they eyeing those big games, and are they going to be better prepared when those big games come?
I think they are handling it better, yes. I think they are a much better team this year than they were last year. Obviously, everybody spoke about Ben Barber last year, but what St Helens have gone and done, they knew he was more than likely going to leave anyway at the end of last season. And what they've done is they've gone out and got themselves a quality replacement, and they've backed it up by bringing in someone like Kevin Negama. And yes, like you say, you've got probably the best front row in Super League. And they will handle it a lot better. I think St Helens will win the grand final. I'm pretty sure on that, because sure
it's not all. You sure you want to say that?
No, I think St Helens will win the League Leaders' Shield and the grand final. I think we'll win the Challenge Cup, because I think we've got that know-how there that other teams haven't got maybe at the moment, including St Helens. They haven't won it in over a decade. We've had recent success in it and we know what it takes. But St Helens, I think, will win the grand final. Sorry, Warrington fans, but I think your team are proverbial grand final chokers, and I think they'll do it again. And I wouldn't be surprised if they weren't the ones that we beat at Wembley again, frankly.
So for you this season, St Helens win two of the 3 trophies?
Yes, I think they do. I won't be surprised if they won the Challenge Cup, but at the same time I would be a bit surprised because they've been that long away from it.
And Jason?
I think it probably now be seen over the last 2 years as failure if we don't win something, but to win every trophy that's just a freak season, so it'd be nice. We've got a chance of winning all 3, but it's probably not going to happen. But yeah, I'd be disappointed if they don't win one of the big 2.
I wouldn't be. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if St Helens did take out all 3, because they are so much better this year than they were last year. They're a much more rounded side, if you like. They're built on sterner stuff, and like you say, they've got that strength in depth there. I just wouldn't be surprised if the Challenge Cup went elsewhere. That's all I'm saying, really.
Just finally from you, Jason, as a St Helens fan, what would you regard as a good season?
Oh, definitely now we have to win something. I think over the last 2 years, the amount of games they keep winning, it's got to be one of the big 2, hasn't it?
Which one do you think you're more likely to win?
I think we'll win the grand final. I think we'll finish top, win our home semi-final and win it this year. Never know in the cup. Never know, are you going to draw, where you're going to go?
Yeah, exactly.
We could get Catalans away if we get through this round, and then Catalans on their own ground are always hard to beat.
Yeah, very true. So, St Helens fans, what do you see happening this season? Do you think you can win the treble? Is a repeat of 2006 on, or are you a bit nervous about a repeat of last year, losing the big games? Let us know, subscribe, like, and let us know in the comments.